The endless void of space stretched before Jack as he guided his cargo ship through the asteroid belt. His vessel, the Starlight Runner, was an older model transport ship that had seen better days, but it was home. The cockpit's soft blue lights reflected off his tired face as he checked the navigation screens for the 100th time that shift. Just another routine run, he muttered to himself, taking a sip from his cold coffee. The transport company paid well for these outer rim routes, mainly because no one else wanted them. Too lonely, they said. Too dangerous. That's when his ship's sensors began to ping. At first, Jack thought it was just another piece of space debris. The asteroid belt was full of them. But as he adjusted his scanners, his heart skipped a beat. The reading showed an energy signature, faint but definitely artificial. "Computer, analyze that signal," he commanded, already changing course to investigate. The response came quickly. A powered-down ship, adrift among the asteroids. And more importantly, life signs. 2 of them, very weak. Company protocol was clear about situations like this. Log the coordinates, report it to Central Command, and continue on schedule. No unauthorized boarding of derelict vessels. Too many pirates used that trick, leaving ships as bait for helpful passersby. But something felt different about this one. The energy signature wasn't like anything he'd seen before. Not human, not from any of the common alien trading species. And those life signs, they were growing weaker by the minute. Jack ran his fingers through his graying hair and made a decision. "Computer, begin docking procedures." The Starlight Runner carefully maneuvered alongside the mysterious vessel. Up close, it was beautiful in an alien way, sleek and organic looking, with curves that seemed to flow like water frozen in space. But there was damage too. Scorch marks along one side, and what looked like hastily sealed breaches in the hull. Jack pulled on his EVA suit, checking the seals twice. "Computer, maintain position and be ready for emergency departure." He grabbed his basic repair kit and medical scanner, standard equipment for any space trucker who'd been doing this job as long as he had. The airlock cycled, and Jack pushed off into space. Magnetic boots engaged as he landed on the alien ship's hull. His helmet lights illuminated the surface, revealing intricate patterns that might have glowed once, but were now dark and lifeless. Finding an entry point wasn't hard. The ship's main airlock was unlocked. That wasn't a good sign. No captain would leave their ship unsecured unless something had gone very wrong. Inside, his lights revealed a ghost ship. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows through corridors that curved and twisted in ways his human mind found slightly disorienting. The air was thin but breathable according to his suit's sensors. He kept his helmet on anyway, better safe than sorry. As he moved deeper into the ship, signs of a hasty evacuation became clear. Personal belongings scattered the floors, and doors had been left open. But it was the marks on the walls that made his blood run cold. Energy weapon scorches. There had been a fight here. The life signs led him to what he guessed was the engine room. The ship's power core was nearly depleted, running on its last reserves. And there in the corner, he found what looked like a makeshift cryopod, jerry-rigged to the ship's remaining power. Through its frosted surface, he could make out 2 figures, clearly not human, but humanoid. Their skin seemed to have a faint, dying glow beneath its surface. The larger figure was curled protectively around the smaller one. Jack's medical scanner confirmed his fears. Their life signs were failing. The pod's power was almost gone, and with it would go their last chance at survival. He placed his hand on the pod's surface, his decision already made. "Hold on," he whispered, though they couldn't hear him. "I'm getting you out of here." It didn't matter what species they were or what trouble they might be in. Jack had made his choice. He would help them. Because that's what humans did, even out here in the darkness between the stars. Jack worked quickly, connecting his ship's power systems to the alien cryopod. His hands moved fast, but carefully, knowing that one wrong connection could end any chance of survival for the beings inside. Sweat formed on his forehead, despite the cool air. Computer, analyze their vital signs and compare them to known species, he ordered, watching as streams of data flowed across his tablet. The response wasn't encouraging. Their body temperatures were dangerously low, even for cryosleep, and their biological readings didn't match any species in his database. The pod's surface began to clear as power flowed into it. Now he could see them clearly. The mother and child were beautiful in an otherworldly way. Their skin had a subtle pattern that reminded him of starlight on water, though now it was dim and lifeless. Both had delicate features and hair that seemed to shimmer even in its frozen state. "Okay," Jack muttered to himself. "Let's do this by the book." He'd taken the emergency medical courses required for his license, but this was far beyond anything they'd covered. Still, basic life support was basic life support, no matter the species. He carefully began the thawing process, monitoring their vital signs constantly. The child was in worse shape than the mother. Her small body had taken the freezing process harder. Jack diverted extra power to her side of the pod, holding his breath as he watched her readings. The mother stirred first. Her eyes fluttered open, revealing irises that glowed with a soft blue light. The moment she saw Jack, terror filled those luminous eyes. She tried to move, to shield her daughter, but her muscles were too weak from the cryosleep. "Easy, easy," Jack said softly, holding up his empty hands. "You're safe. I'm here to help." He kept his movements slow and gentle, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. The alien woman's lips moved, but the sounds she made were like nothing Jack had ever heard, musical and complex. He reached for his universal translator, an old model, but better than nothing. After a few attempts, rough translations began to come through. "My daughter. Save my daughter," the mother managed to say through the translator. Her glowing eyes fixed on the small form beside her, still motionless. "I'm trying," Jack assured her, adjusting the medical equipment. "What's your name? Can you tell me what happened?" "Ada," she whispered. Her hand weakly gestured to her daughter. "She is Lily." The names came through the translator as approximate equivalents in human language. "Please," they tried to. Her voice broke as tears formed in her eyes, glowing like liquid starlight. Jack focused on Lily's vital signs, which were finally beginning to stabilize. The child's eyelids fluttered, and a soft whimper escaped her lips. Her skin began to glow faintly, pulsing in time with her heartbeat. "Why isn't she glowing properly?" Ava asked, fear in her voice. "Our people, we should glow brightly." "She's very weak," Jack explained, checking his readings. "Both of you are suffering from severe hypothermia and malnutrition. The cryopod kept you alive, but just barely." He began preparing nutrient solutions that his scanner suggested would be safe for their biology. As he worked, Lily's eyes opened. Unlike her mother's blue glow, the child's eyes shimmered with a rainbow of colors, something Jack had never seen before. Ada gasped softly at the sight. "The colors," she whispered. "This is why our family." She couldn't finish the sentence, but Jack began to understand. Whatever had happened, it had something to do with the child being different. "She's beautiful," Jack said firmly, watching as the rainbow colors danced in Lily's eyes. The child looked at him without fear, and a tiny smile formed on her face. Her small hand reached out towards him, and her skin brightened slightly at the contact. "You're not afraid of her colors?" Ada asked, disbelief in her voice. Jack smiled as he gently helped them both sit up. "Where I come from, being different isn't something to fear, it's something to celebrate." He began setting up temporary beds in his ship's medical bay. "Now let's get you both somewhere more comfortable. You have a lot of healing to do." As he helped them from the pod, Jack knew his life would never be the same. But looking at the grateful mother and her unique daughter, he wouldn't have it any other way. 3 days passed aboard the Starlight Runner as Ada and Lily slowly regained their strength. Jack had converted the ship's small medical bay into a temporary living space for them, adding soft blankets and adjusting the lighting to match what seemed to comfort them most. This morning, he found Ada sitting up in her bed, her luminescent skin glowing a bit stronger than before. Lily was still asleep, her small form wrapped in a blanket, her skin pulsing with gentle rainbow colors. "How are you feeling today?" Jack asked, checking the medical readings on his tablet. The universal translator had been learning their language, making communication easier with each passing day. Ada's glow dimmed slightly. Something Jack had learned happened when she was troubled. "Better. Your medicines are kind to our bodies." She paused, looking at her sleeping daughter. "But we cannot keep running from the truth. You deserve to know why we were abandoned." Jack pulled up a chair and sat down. He had been curious, but he hadn't pushed for answers, knowing they needed time to feel safe. "Only if you're ready to tell me," he said gently. Ada's hands twisted in her lap, her glow flickering with emotion. "Our people, the luminary, we pride ourselves on our pure light. For generations, we have glowed with the same blue radiance. It was, our mark of nobility." She looked at Lily with tears in her eyes. But Lily was born different. Her light contains all colors, like a rainbow trapped in crystal. "It's beautiful," Jack said honestly. Ada smiled sadly. "Yes, it is. But to our family, it was a mark of shame. They said she was impure, that she would taint our bloodline." Her voice grew bitter. "They gave us a choice. Either send her away to a special facility or be exiled. I chose exile. I could not abandon my child." Jack felt anger rising in his chest, but kept his voice calm. "So you tried to escape?" "Yes. We took a small ship, planned to find sanctuary in the outer colonies. But they caught us." Ada's glow pulsed with fear at the memory. "My own brother led the pursuit. They damaged our ship, left us to drift and die. They thought that was more merciful than execution." Lily stirred in her sleep, making a small sound. Ada reached out automatically to smooth her daughter's shimmering hair. The child's rainbow glow brightened at her mother's touch, even in sleep. "The cryopod was a last resort," Ada continued. "I didn't know if anyone would find us. I didn't even know if humans would help aliens like us." She looked at Jack with glowing eyes full of gratitude. "But you did. You risked everything to save strangers." Jack shrugged, a bit embarrassed by her praise. "It was the right thing to do. And honestly, where I come from, being different isn't seen as a bad thing. Earth, our home planet, has thousands of cultures, colors, and ways of life. Diversity makes us stronger." Diversity. The translator struggled with the word, but Ada seemed to understand the concept. "Your people celebrate differences. We haven't always," Jack admitted. "We've had our own struggles with prejudice. But we've learned that our differences make life richer, more interesting. Look at Lily. Her rainbow light isn't a flaw. It's a gift. Something new and wonderful." As if hearing her name, Lily woke up. Her rainbow-colored eyes blinked sleepily, then lit up when she saw Jack. Over the past few days, she had grown attached to the human who had saved them. "Jack," she called out in her musical voice, now speaking a few words of human language she had picked up. "Story time." He smiled, reaching for the tablet where he had loaded children's books. Reading together had become their morning ritual, helping Lily learn human words while giving Ada time to rest. "Your people," Ada said softly, watching them. "You are different from what we were taught. The luminary said humans were primitive, violent. But you show more wisdom than our advanced civilization." Jack opened the book as Lily snuggled close to her mother. "Sometimes the simplest wisdom is the most important. Be kind, help others, and never be afraid to shine your own light, no matter what color it might be." And as he began to read, Lily's rainbow glow filled the room with dancing colors, no longer a mark of shame but a symbol of hope for a better future. The Starlight Runner cruised through space as Jack worked on plotting the safest route to Earth's outer colonies. His cargo hold was still full of mining supplies, but that didn't matter now. His new passengers were far more important than any delivery deadline. "Computer, scan for any ships in the area," Jack ordered while making breakfast. He had discovered that Ada and Lily could eat most human foods, though they preferred fruits and vegetables. The kitchen area was bright with their combined glow. Ada's steady blue light and Lily's dancing rainbow colors. Lily sat at the small table, fascinated by the orange she was peeling. "Look, Mother, it's like a tiny sun." Her rainbow glow brightened with excitement, making the fruit shine with multiple colors. Suddenly, the ship's alarm started beeping. Jack rushed to the control panel, his heart racing. "3 ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel," he announced, checking the readings. "They're luminary vessels." Ada's glow dimmed with fear. She grabbed Lily, who didn't fully understand the danger but could sense her mother's fear. "They're hunting us," Ada whispered. "They must have tracked the energy signature from our crashed ship." Jack's mind raced as he looked at the sensor readings. The luminary ships were faster than his cargo vessel, and their weapons were certainly better. But he had something they didn't: years of experience navigating dangerous space. "Hold on tight," he said, turning the ship sharply. "We're going into that nebula." Ahead of them stretched a massive cloud of colorful gas and dust. Most pilots avoided nebulas. They interfered with sensors and made navigation extremely difficult. But right now, those problems were exactly what they needed. The Starlight runner dove into the purple and blue clouds. Jack turned off all non-essential systems, including most of the lights. The ship's interior was now lit only by Ada and Lily's natural glow. "Can you dim your light?" Jack asked them gently. "Just for a little while." Ada nodded, and her blue glow faded until it was just a faint shimmer. But Lily struggled, her rainbow colors flickering nervously. "I don't know how," she said, close to tears. "I can't control it like Mother." "It's okay," Jack said quickly. He grabbed a spare blanket and created a small tent-like space under one of the control panels. "Here's your special hiding spot. The blanket will cover your light, and you can pretend we're camping under the stars." Lily's fear turned to interest as Jack made the impromptu fort more comfortable with pillows. Her mother joined her in the small space, and together their mixed lights created beautiful patterns on the blankets inside. Above them, Jack worked frantically at the controls. The nebula's gas clouds interfered with his sensors, but they also hid them from the luminary ships. He guided the Starlight runner deeper into the cosmic clouds, using his experience and instincts more than instruments. Minutes stretched into hours. Jack kept the ship moving in a careful pattern, using the nebula's natural currents to mask their movement. He told stories to keep Lily calm, speaking softly about Earth and its many wonders. "Are there really oceans full of water?" Lily whispered from under the blanket, her rainbow glow creating tiny spots of color where the fabric was thinnest. "Huge ones," Jack confirmed, checking the sensors again. "And beaches where you can watch the sun set into them. The sky turns all sorts of colors. You'd fit right in." Finally, after what seemed like forever, the sensor alert stopped. The luminary ships had moved on, probably thinking no one would be foolish enough to hide in the nebula for so long. When they emerged from the colorful clouds, they were far off their original course but safe. Jack helped Ada and Lily out of their hiding spot, and together they watched the nebula disappear behind them. "Thank you," Ada said softly, her blue glow returning to full strength. "You risked everything for us again." Jack smiled as Lily hugged his leg, her rainbow colors bright and happy once more. "That's what family does," he said, surprising himself with the word. But looking at them, he knew it was true. In the vast darkness of space, they had somehow become a family. "Now," he said, setting a new course, "let's go home." The New Hope space station hung like a silver star against the black of space. Jack smiled as he saw Lily press her face against the ship's window, her rainbow glow reflecting off the glass as she stared in wonder at the massive structure. "It's so big," she exclaimed, her colors shifting with excitement. "Look at all the ships, Mother." Ada stood behind her daughter, her blue glow steady but nervous. "Will they really accept us here?" she asked Jack quietly. "This station is known for helping refugees," Jack explained as he guided the Starlight Runner toward the docking bay. "My old friend Tom is the medical director. He's the best person to help us understand Lily's unique condition." The docking procedure went smoothly, though Jack noticed several curious faces peering through the terminal windows at their ship. It wasn't every day that the interior of a cargo vessel glowed with such unusual lights. Tom met them at the airlock, a tall man with kind eyes and gray hair. His face showed no surprise at seeing the glowing aliens, just professional interest and warmth. "Welcome to New Hope," he said, smiling at Lily, who half hid behind Jack's leg. "Let's get you to the medical bay for a proper checkup. Jack told me about your special lights." The medical bay was different from anything Ada and Lily had seen before. Aliens of various species worked alongside humans, and the walls were decorated with children's drawings from a dozen different worlds. As Tom examined them, his expression grew more and more interested. "This is fascinating," he said, studying the readings from Lily's rainbow glow. "Your daughter's condition isn't an impurity at all. It's an evolutionary advancement." Ada's blue glow flickered with surprise. "What do you mean?" Tom showed them the scan results on a large screen. "Your species' traditional blue glow comes from a single type of bioluminescent cell, but Lily has developed multiple types, each producing different colors. It's like her body created a whole new way of using light. But our people said it was wrong," Ada said softly. "They said it would weaken our bloodline." "Actually," Tom replied, "these new cells are more efficient and adaptable. They can produce more light with less energy, and they seem to respond better to environmental changes." He smiled at Lily, who was making her rainbow colors dance. "Your daughter isn't impure. She's evolved." As they discussed this discovery, more people began gathering outside the medical bay. Word had spread about the glowing aliens who sought refuge, and others who had faced similar persecution came to offer support. A tall crystalline being approached them, its transparent body refracting light like a prism. "My people also cast me out for being different," it said through a translator. "Here, I found a new home. An elderly human woman brought them warm drinks and blankets. I help refugees adjust to station life," she explained kindly. "There's a whole community here of people who understand what you're going through." Lily, who had been shy at first, began to open up as she met other children, both human and alien. Her rainbow colors seemed to fascinate them, and soon she was teaching them how to play a luminary counting game while their parents watched with smiles. "You see," Jack said to Ada, watching Lily laugh with her new friends, "sometimes finding your true family means leaving the old one behind." Ada's blue glow brightened with hope. "I never imagined such a place could exist, where differences are studied instead of feared, where my daughter can just be herself." "That's what humanity learned over the centuries," Tom explained, joining them. "Diversity makes us stronger. Every difference is a new way to survive, to grow, to understand the universe." As the day ended, Jack found himself surrounded by his strange new family. Ada's steady blue light, Lily's joyful rainbow colors, and the warm smiles of the station's inhabitants who had welcomed them without hesitation. But their challenges weren't over. Even as they settled into their new temporary quarters, station security reported that a luminary diplomatic vessel was requesting permission to dock. The news of their arrival had spread faster than they'd hoped, and now they would have to fight a different kind of battle, one for their right to stay. Looking at Lily's peaceful face as she slept, her rainbow colors gently pulsing, Jack made a silent promise. No one would take this child's light away, not while he had anything to say about it. The New Hope Station's meeting hall buzzed with tension. On one side sat Jack, Ada, and Tom, along with station officials. On the other side, 3 luminary representatives glowed with harsh blue light. Their leader, Ambassador Thorne, was Ada's own brother, though he refused to look directly at her or Lily. Lily was in a safe room nearby with other refugee children, protected by station security. Her rainbow glow had been especially bright that morning, as if defying those who called it impure. "This is a simple matter," Ambassador Thorne stated, his voice cold. "The child and her mother must return with us. This is an internal luminary affair." Station Commander Maria Rodriguez, a veteran of many diplomatic conflicts, leaned forward. "Simple. Abandoning a mother and child in a dying ship doesn't seem simple to me." "You don't understand our ways," Thorne replied. "The purity of our light is sacred. The child's condition threatens thousands of years of careful breeding." Jack couldn't stay quiet any longer. "Her condition is actually an advancement. Dr. Tom's tests prove it. Lily's rainbow light is more efficient, more adaptable." "Lies." Another luminary diplomat slammed his hand on the table. "Human science cannot comprehend our biology." Tom activated a large display screen, showing detailed scans. "These results have been verified by 3 independent xenobiologists. Lily's cells represent a natural evolution of your species' bioluminescence. It's not a flaw. It's your future." Ada stood up, her blue glow pulsing with anger. "Brother, when we were children, you protected me from bullies. Now you've become one. My daughter isn't sick or impure. She's perfect exactly as she is." The meeting was interrupted by an urgent message. The station's security chief rushed in, looking worried. "Commander, we've detected 4 more luminary ships approaching the station." Thorne smiled coldly. "As I said, the child and mother will return with us." Commander Rodriguez's face hardened. "Are you threatening this station, Ambassador?" "Simply ensuring our laws are enforced," he replied smoothly. Jack stood up. "I have something you need to see." He pulled out a data chip. "While rescuing Ada and Lily, I downloaded their ship's logs, including the part where you fired on an unarmed vessel carrying a child." The ambassador's glow flickered slightly. "You have no proof." "I also found encrypted communications," Jack continued, "about other luminary children born with rainbow light, children who mysteriously disappeared with their parents." He looked directly at Thorne. "How many families have you abandoned to die in space?" The room fell silent. Commander Rodriguez took the data chip, her expression grim. "If these allegations are true, this goes beyond internal luminary affairs. It's genocide." "This is absurd." Thorne stood up, his glow blazing. "You would take the word of a human cargo pilot over." He was interrupted by gasps from everyone in the room. Through the meeting hall's large window, they could see hundreds of small lights approaching the station. Ships of all sizes, from dozens of species. The station's communications officer spoke up. "Commander, we're receiving messages from 30 different worlds. They're offering sanctuary to any luminary refugees who need it." News of Lily's story had spread faster than anyone expected. The galaxy was responding not with weapons, but with compassion. Commander Rodriguez smiled. "Ambassador, here's what's going to happen. Ada and Lily will remain under this station's protection. We will investigate your treatment of other rainbow light children. And we're declaring New Hope Station a safe haven for any luminary who fear persecution." "You can't do this," Thorne protested, but his glow was dimming. "We can and we will," Jack said firmly. "Because humanity has learned what your people haven't. That light shines brightest when it shines in all colors." As if to emphasize his words, Lily ran into the room, having slipped away from her minders. Her rainbow glow was brilliant, casting beautiful patterns across the walls. Other refugee children followed her, their own unique features, scales, fins, crystals, and lights, making the room look like a celebration of diversity. Thorne and his delegates left the station within the hour. The threat of exposure was too great, their crimes too serious to risk further investigation. As their ships departed, Lily stood at the window with Jack and Ada, watching them go. "Are we really safe now?" she asked, her rainbow colors swirling hopefully. Jack lifted her up so she could see better. Yes, little one. And not just you. Thanks to your brave light, many others will be safe too. 1 year had passed since the confrontation with the luminary ambassadors. The New Hope space station had changed dramatically, its corridors now filled with the multicolored glows of dozens of luminary children who, like Lily, had been born with rainbow light. Jack walked through the station's newly built rainbow garden, a special area where bioluminescent plants from Earth grew alongside space flowers. Lily loved this place. Her rainbow glow made the plants respond in unique ways, creating stunning light shows that attracted visitors from across the galaxy. Jack! Jack! Lily called out, running toward him. Her rainbow colors were brighter than ever, shifting through beautiful patterns as she moved. Look what I can do now. She concentrated, and her glow separated into distinct colors, each moving independently like a dance of light. Other luminary children watched in amazement, trying to copy her control over their own rainbow glows. Ada appeared behind her daughter, her traditional blue light now complemented by occasional flickers of other colors, a sign that the rainbow trait was more natural than the luminary had ever admitted. She's teaching the others, Ada said proudly. They learn so quickly when they're not afraid to experiment. The station had become more than just a refuge. It was now the home of the Rainbow Light Foundation, an organization dedicated to protecting and studying genetic diversity across all species. Dr. Tom's research had proven that Lily's condition was appearing more frequently among luminary children, suggesting their species was naturally evolving. Commander Rodriguez wants to see us, Jack said, taking Lily's hand as they walked. Her small fingers glowed with warm colors, showing her happiness. Something about a new project. They found the commander in her office, speaking with representatives from 3 different alien species. The walls were covered with images of various worlds offering sanctuary to those persecuted for being different. Ah, perfect timing. Rodriguez smiled. We've just received word from Earth's Council. They've approved funding for the first Rainbow Light Academy. An academy? Ada asked, her glow brightening with interest. A school dedicated to studying and celebrating genetic diversity, Rodriguez explained. Not just for luminary children, but for anyone born different from their species norm. And they want Lily to be their first student ambassador. Lily's rainbow colors swirled with excitement. Can I really? You've already been teaching others, Jack pointed out. Now you'll just have a proper classroom. The news got better. Reports from luminary space showed their society was slowly changing. The evidence of evolution couldn't be ignored, and more families were choosing to celebrate their rainbow-like children rather than hide them. The old prejudices were fading, one glowing child at a time. Later that evening, Jack sat with his unusual family in their station quarters. Ada was reading messages from other luminary parents, seeking advice about their rainbow children. Lily was practicing making shapes with her colors, creating beautiful patterns on the ceiling. Jack, Lily said suddenly, remember when you found us in that broken ship? Of course I do, he replied. Were you scared? Meeting aliens who glowed? Jack smiled, remembering that moment. No, I was too busy being amazed by how beautiful your lights were. Lily crawled into his lap, her rainbow glow mixing with the room's soft lighting. I'm glad humans aren't afraid of different things. We learned not to be, Jack explained. Long ago, humans used to fear differences too. But we discovered that every unique trait, every variation, makes life richer and more interesting. Ada joined them, her blue glow harmonizing with Lily's rainbow colors. And now our people are learning the same lesson. Through the window, they could see the endless expanse of space, dotted with countless stars. Among those stars, more families were finding their way to New Hope Station, drawn by the story of a human who saw beauty where others saw impurity, who chose compassion over fear. You know what? Lily said, making her rainbow colors dance one last time before bedtime. I think the universe is like my light. It's more beautiful with all the colors together. Jack hugged his adopted family close, their combined glows creating patterns as unique as their bond. In saving them, he had helped change not just their lives, but the lives of countless others. And that, he realized, was the most human thing of all. "You're right, Lily," he said softly. "Together is always better than alone." The end.